Hi guys. So what I'm going to do today is a little bit different. If you look at like the first chapter, it's just a Venn diagram that Charlotte made. You know how she loves Venn diagrams. And then the second chapter, as you can see, it's almost like a mini chapter. It's like 2 paragraphs long. So I'm going to read both of those little mini chapters, and then I'm going to read like a little bit more of the next chapter and then finish that chapter on Friday. So that's what we're going to do today. So this first one is called How Our Venn Diagrams Look. I know. I spend too much time thinking about this stuff. This is obviously Charlotte. Okay, so Charlotte's Venn diagram, things that apply just to her, are not popular, not considered that pretty. Jimena, popular, has a boyfriend, not that nice to everyone. Summer, does not care what other kids think about her. Popular for real, everyone loves her. And then this is what Summer and Charlotte have in common. No boyfriend, nice to everyone. This is what Summer and Jimena have in common. Super pretty. This is what Charlotte and Jimena have in common. They care what other people think about them. They love Les Mis. And this is what all 3 girls have in common. They love Shingaling, love dogs, and they're all on the honor roll. So that was the chapter, How Our Venn Diagrams Look. The next little mini chapter is called How We Never Talked About It. On Monday, there was no mention of the sleepover. It's like the 3 of us knew instinctively, without having to say it out loud, that when we got back to school, everything would return to being business as usual. Jimena hanging out with the Savannah group, Summer hanging out with her tiny group, me playing dots with Maya at my lunch table. No one would ever have guessed that Summer, Jimena, and I had become good friends, or that just a few days before, we were having silent pillow fights and sharing secrets under the pink glow of the red chili lights in Jimena's bedroom. All right, this next chapter that I'm going to start today is called, ooh, this is very dramatic sounding, How I Failed to Prevent a Social Catastrophe. The night before the gala, Mrs. Watanabe told us to take the day off and get some rest. She wanted us to make sure we had a nice healthy dinner and a good night's sleep. Then she gave us our costumes, which she had somehow managed to sew herself. We had already tried them on the week before, but I was so excited to come home and try mine on again, now that it had been fitted. The costume was inspired by this photo of the Liberty Bells. And this is the picture in the book of the Liberty Bells. So it's very 60s. So that afternoon, I went home from school with Maya and Lena, the way I used to in the old days before I started hanging out with Summer and Jimena all the time. It was one of the first nice days in March, when you finally get a hint of spring after the long, crazy cold winter. Lena had the brainstorm to stop at Carvel on our way home, which felt like a very springtime thing to do. So we walked in the opposite direction up Amesfort Avenue toward the park. As we were walking, I told them how I had heard that Savannah was telling people that the only reason I got a part in Mrs. Watanabe's dance show was because I had been in a TV commercial when I was little. No one believes that, Lena said sympathetically, kicking her soccer ball in front of her. That's awful, said Maya, and it kind of made me happy that she got so mad about it. I can't believe Savannah. She used to be so nice in lower school. Savannah was never really that nice to me, I answered. She was nice to me, Maya insisted, pushing her glasses up her nose. Now she's evil. That whole group is evil. I nodded. Then I shook my head. Well, I don't know about that. And now they've turned Ellie against us, Maya said. You know, Ellie barely even says hello to me anymore. Now she's evil too. I scratched my nose. Maya had a way of being very black and white about things. I guess. I'm telling you, it's Jimena Chin's fault, Maya continued. It's only because of her. If she hadn't started this year, everything would be the same as it was. She's the bad influence. I knew that was how Maya saw things. It was one of the reasons I never went into too much detail about the dance show I was in. She never really got that it was me, Summer, and the dreaded Jimena Chin, and that was fine by me. I didn't want to have to defend my friendship with Jimena to Maya. I honestly don't think she would have understood. You know what I hate the most? Maya said. I hate that she's probably going to end up giving the 5th grade commencement speech at graduation this year. Well, she does have the best grades of anyone, I answered, trying to sound as impartial as possible. I thought you had the best grades, Charlotte, Lena said to me. No, Jimena does, Maya interjected. She started counting off on her fingers. Jimena, Charlotte, Simon, me. And then either Augie or Remo. Augie's actually got better grades than Remo in math, but he didn't do that well in Spanish on his last few quizzes, and that's bringing his whole grade point average down. Maya always knew what everyone else got on all their tests. She kept tabs on homework assignments, essay scores, you name it. If it had a grade attached to it, Maya would ask you about it. And she had an amazing way of remembering all those details, too. It's crazy how you can remember everyone's grades, said Lena. It's a gift, answered Maya, not even meaning to be funny. Hey, did you tell Charlotte about the note? Lena asked her. What note? I said. Like I mentioned, I was a little bit out of the loop with these guys because I hadn't hung around them that much in the last few weeks. Oh, nothing, said Maya. She wrote Ellie a note, said Lena. Maya looked up at me and frowned. Telling her how I feel, she added, peering at me over the rims of her glasses. I immediately had a sinking feeling about this note. What did you write? I asked. She shrugged. Just a note. Lena nudged her. Let her read it. She's going to tell me not to give it to her, Maya answered, biting the end of her long, curly hair. At least show it to me, I said, now really curious. Come on, Maya. We had stopped at the intersection of Amesfort and 222nd Street to wait for the light to change. Fine, Maya answered. I'll show you. She started digging into her coat pocket and pulled out a well-worn, ugly doll envelope with the word Ellie written on the outside in silver marker. Okay, so basically I just wanted to let Ellie know how I feel about the way she's changed this year. She passed the envelope to me and then nodded for me to open it and read the note inside. Dear Ellie, I'm writing as one of your closest friends to tell you that you've been acting really differently lately, and I hope you snap out of it. I don't blame you. I blame it all on the evil Jimena Chin, who is negatively influencing you. First, she twisted Savannah's brain, and now she's turning you into a pretty zombie just like she is. I hope you stop being friends with her and remember all the good times that we used to have. Remember Mr. Brown's November precept. Have no friends not equal to yourself. Can we please be friends again? Your former really good friend, Maya. And I think that's a great place for us to stop. Tomorrow I will finish up this chapter and you can find out what happens then. Bye.